So this was actually going to be a silent video, but there's just way too much that needs to be said about this dresser and mirror set before I just up and throw you all into it. And I just had my morning coffee, so I'm wired for a little bit. So you can obviously see that this dresser is a bit of a dilapidated, water-damaged mess. So I got this dresser and mirror set from some lady who was doing a garage sale, I want to say last June. And this actually wasn't a part of her garage sale. It was just in the back of her garage. I mentioned that I do furniture refinishing, and she told me that she had this dresser and mirror set way in the back of her garage. It was a water-damaged mess, but I could have it because she wanted to get rid of it. I'm like, sure, why not? I took it. I think it's salvageable. It is not a very expensive looking dresser, if you can't already tell. Most of it is going to be painted, and I might stain the top and maybe try and stain the bottom or get a new bottom or something. But it has all the hardware, so I'll try and keep the hardware, either oil it and polish it or paint it. I'll try and save the hardware though, since it has all of it. This trim piece for this drawer is inside of this drawer right here, so I'll have to glue that back. And the sides of it, it's all falling apart. I'm gonna need to get new stuff for those. I have this piece right here, but I think I'm gonna try and use this for a credenza that I might build in the near future, like a TV stand kind of thing. And I might get new matching pieces for the sides of this dresser. So we'll see. I have big plans for it, but I honestly have not seen the extent of the water damage in this. So I'm going to show you all live how it looks, and I might just throw it in the dumpster. We'll see. I've been waiting to do that for a long time. So the good news is that there is more solid wood on this dresser than I thought. This top piece is real solid wood as far as I know. The grain and the thickness of the boards matches what's on the top. It sounds and it looks like real wood, so let's hope that I can stain that and make that look nice. I think this is solid wood. I think these are. I think this bottom is. So we have some stuff to work with if I do end up wanting to stain some of it. And it just makes me feel better that the quality of this is better than I thought it was. It does need some TLC with these trim pieces. I might have to replace this one. I don't know why it's not doing it now, but it was wobbling up and down right there. So I might have to replace or re-glue that one. Over here, it's just missing the bottom one. and I think this one was wobbling too. So those supports are gonna need some TLC, and I'm obviously gonna have to replace the sides. The drawers are in good enough condition. This one just needs to be, the top of it needs to be re-glued, and I think these are solid wood too. I mean, that looks like solid wood, so that's actually really good. I'm happy about that. So I'm going to try and save it. It's gonna need some love, but I think it's actually going to be a fun project. Famous last words. These are also dovetailed joints in the drawers. I know some people like to look for that. Well, it turns out after further inspection that this bottom corner is about ready to collapse. I don't know how I didn't see that before. It also looks like that. So what I'm thinking now is I am going to just cut the whole dresser to the bottom of where this drawer is gonna sit, all the way around, get rid of this, maybe make my own new bottom supports about this height. When I get new sides, I'll make a new bottom for it, and then I'll just get new nice looking legs for it that I'll stain, and I think that'll look a lot nicer, and I'm going to have to do it anyway, so that's the new plan. As for the mirror goes, I think it's all just fine how it is, other than I'm gonna get new screws for it. All the wood is solid though. I know it doesn't look very good, but it's all solid. It just needs to be tightened, have new screws, all be tightened, and then I'll just sand all the wood down and stain it. I think that'll be fine. Well, it's the next day and I got these 2 birch sheets, 2 foot by 4 foot, and that'll be enough to cover the 2 sides, and whatever's left I'll make some form of bottom. Well, if there were to be two phases to this project, I'm pretty sure this would be the end of the first one. So I got it all rebuilt, all reformed back to how it's supposed to be in preparation for now finishing. So I got these two sides and the bottom put on with the 1/4 inch birch plywood sheets or whatever they are. I re-glued all of the little angled supports that came off. I put the blocking on for the new legs. What else did I do? Just a lot of little tiny details for adding support to it. And I added some more staples to the back, particle board. I re-glued the top of that drawer. I know I'm probably going to get a few comments of people trashing me for doing this super cheaply. I mean, this is not expensive. It was the cheapest sheets of 1/4 inch plywood that I could find that I thought would work well. And I honestly think they work perfect. I mean, they look a lot better than how it did before. I'm sure even when it was new, it's sturdier and better looking than it was. And it's all going to be painted anyway, so. But again, I'm not doing this for somebody else. This is my own dresser that I got for free that I'm going to redo how I want to redo it and throw it back on Facebook Marketplace. I'm not doing it for somebody, and if I were doing it for somebody, I would obviously put a lot more money and time and just attention to detail into things and not do it super cheaply. Like just the longer nails that I used, I could have gotten some shorter ones and waited a few more days, but I ran out of the shorter ones, so I used 1 3/4 that stuck through, so I had to use the multi-tool to grind them off, and just little things that I would have done a lot better and nicer looking if this was for somebody else. But this is my own dresser. This works just fine for how I want it to be done. But anyway, the next step for this is to sand everything down that needs to be sanded down. I got to decide now, color tone wise, what I want to do. I'm going to try and restain this top no matter what. I don't know if the rest is going to be repainted or if one of the drawers is going to be stained and the rest painted. I got to come up with some ideas. I got to browse Pinterest. Well, the legs didn't turn out so bad. There's some wood filler. I filled in all the holes where I nailed into these trim pieces. And there were a few instances where the nails didn't want to go through the maple, so they just came out at an angle the other end, and I shot my thumb last night doing that. But other than that, the dresser doesn't wobble. It's very sturdy now. I glued all the joints in this. I nailed all over the place, and I screwed it to the base of the dresser. All the legs and the trim, so they shouldn't go anywhere, hopefully. And I was trying to decide what I wanted to do about this reveal and to hide this layer of plywood from the bottom of the dresser. So I came up with, I have all kinds of little thin, like valence trim pieces of maple. So I'll probably cut something on each side like that and pin nail it on each side. And then I'll still rip and put that trim piece on the front, and then I'll rip this to whatever height or width or whatever that is, so then it matches. And I think that'll look nice. I also filled in all the holes off camera last night with wood filler everywhere. Filled in where I glued this top piece of this drawer back on, and where it was starting to come off on the other boards. I accidentally shot a nail through there, don't ask me why. I just did some stuff off camera that I just wanted to get done. I didn't feel like recording, but it was nothing too eventful. So now I'm going to take off the hardware. I'm going to take off whatever trim pieces I can take off, because it'll make my life a whole lot easier. I'll stain them separately, and then I can not have to worry about working around them with paint. So I'll try and take these two pieces off, this one off, and I sanded this one down too, but I don't think that's coming off. But that's okay. I'll take the hardware off, take all the drawers out, and I might get to painting tonight, I might not. So the time has finally come to start painting this dresser. And I'm sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth between using the mic and not, so the audio might sound weird in this video, but for paint, I am using Valspar's Smoked Oyster and Olive Smudge. I'm going to mix the two to try and make kind of a light beige green. So if you're familiar with my videos, you probably know by now that I like to use 4 or so different signature Valspar colors that are kind of my go-to ones. So I'm going to probably end up using mostly Smoked Oyster with a little bit of this Olive Smudge, because I don't think it'll take a lot of the dark green to get the color that I want. So a couple of things here really quick on both the dresser and the mirror. I didn't do as much filming on the mirror as I wanted to. Most of the work that I did on it was really late at night, and I just wanted to get done with it, so I didn't bother filming. But the reason that it looks like this from what last you saw is this piece on the one side must have gotten a little bit of water damage, so it was pretty miscolored from the rest of it. It's still good solid wood. I sanded it all down and it just got a little bit miscolored from the rest. So I wanted to find a way to blend it all in so I didn't have to make a whole new board for it because it has all of these grooves in it. So I took a torch and I just kind of blackened the corners and just kind of made it all blend together. And I think it looks amazing, honestly. It's a little bit darker than the dresser is. And also, by the way, I was unhappy with how the dresser wood looked with just poly. It just kind of looks like an ugly yellowy golden oak. So I added a coat of the dark honey that I have just to kind of brown or redden it up a little bit. And I am much more happy with it now. So the dresser is, I think, done now. I'm going to clean. I vacuumed out the inside of the drawers, so I'm actually going to wipe them down really good before I list them. But I was thinking about putting in a drawer liner, and I honestly don't think it would be worth it for the time and the uh, money, just because I don't think this dresser is going to sell for a whole lot anyway. And there gets to be a point, regardless, you can't just throw a whole lot of money into something and expect it to um, keep linearly going up in value. I mean, there gets to be a point where nobody's going to want to pay for it at that price. So you got to stop at some point. And I already have like 25 hours or something crazy into this dresser and mirror set, so I'm not even going to worry about it. And honestly, I think the bottoms look fine. It would be a different story if they were all stained or peeling, but they all look fine, so I'm not going to worry about it. So the dresser is essentially done. The mirror, I have to reattach all of those pieces, put on the new hardware, and then clean the mirror really good, and then that is also done. So that is a wrap on this dresser and mirror set. I actually finished it about 2 weeks ago from the time that I'm recording this clip right now, and I sold it last week for $125 total between the dresser and the mirror, which is not a lot. I did the math, and I put about 25 hours or something crazy into that dresser and mirror set. So $125 that I got from it divided by 25 hours just for labor is only $5 an hour for labor, not even including materials or anything else that I spent on it. So I did not make a lot of money on that dresser. But as I was saying earlier in the video, there gets to be a point where the value stops going up linearly, and nobody was going to be paying $375 or whatever it would have cost if I charged 15 an hour for labor. Nobody was going to be paying that for that dresser and mirror set. I mean, maybe in a bigger city, in a rich neighborhood, but not in the middle of nowhere, Illinois. I probably could have gotten more than 125 out of it, But honestly, I was happy to see it out of the shop. It went to a lady that I grew up with, and she gave me my full asking price for it, and she gave me a dresser of her own for me to refinish as a job for her. So I am happy about that. And overall, I think the dresser and mirror set turned out beautiful. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which will probably be refinishing her dresser.